Pruitt pitches another gem. Let's break it all down here on Ragin Rundown. What's good, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome into yet another episode here on Ragin Rundown, the show where you will know all things UL sports. I'm your guy, Jamarcus Fitzpatrick, but you can always call me Fitz. If this is your first time on the YouTube channel, make sure you smash that like button, hit the subscribe bell, and make sure you leave us a comment as well. If you're listening on podcast, please rate the show, leave us a review, and follow the feed as well, because that's going to help us get in front of more Ragin Cajun fans just like yourself. And in today's episode, we are once again talking about Sawyer Pruitt. And it just seems like this young man continues to elevate his game and has a better and better and better performance every single time. Louisiana picked up a 1-0 victory in an absolute pitcher's duel on Tuesday night here on February the 24th as the Cajuns welcomed in Kansas State, a team that was 6-1 coming into the night. They played Tuesday night, and then they will play again tomorrow on Wednesday in a 2-game series. So Louisiana now has the opportunity to sweep if they can pick up the victory tomorrow. Coming into this game, UL was on a 5-game win streak. They won the game against Missouri State, Rice, and then swept Maryland last weekend. And then picking up this one now improves them to 6-2 on the year. Both teams finished the game with 3 hits. The Cajuns made one swing that truly mattered. We'll talk about that in just a second. And the huge storylines from this one is just the elite pitching that happened in this one, timely, powerful hits, and all of that coming together. And it felt like a postseason style baseball game here in February. So just breaking down the flow of how this game went. In the early innings, teams were filling each other out on both sides. Sawyer Pruitt looked locked in immediately. He had 5 strikeouts, only 1 hit allowed, and his fastball just seemed to be in command. He was very sharp in the way that he was doing things. UL had a chance early in the first when Maddox Mandino singled and stole second, but the Cajuns were not able to capitalize on that one. In the third inning, that's where the deciding moment really happened. Opelousas Catholic star Mark Collins stepped up to the plate. He saw a pitch. He swung for it. He hit a solo home run to left field. That would be his first home run of the season, and it would be the only run of the game. So if you think about it, 3 total hits happened for UL. One of them was the only run. So you go 1 for 3 as a team on the night. But that one moment is what made all the difference. And then obviously, like I said, Sawyer Pruitt is a dog. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits allowed, 3 walks, 9 strikeouts on 95 pitches. Nothing else needs to be said about it. I mean, to say that this kid is a true freshman and is playing at the level that he is not incredibly surprising, but just to see that he is continuing to do this game after game. My goodness, he hasn't even given up an earned run yet. His ERA is still at 0. Obviously, he may give one up at some point, but he's just playing out of his mind right now. And as long as you can continue to have that, the sky is the limit, not just for this season, but man, you're talking about in the future, keeping a guy like that on campus and in your bullpen. I mean, you've seen having a Chase Morgan, who unfortunately is not playing right now, but you've seen what it looks like when you have a really dominant ace type of pitcher coming out of the bullpen that you know that you can rely on and that this guy can go and really make it hard for offenses to get going. After the game, or after Pruitt came out, then entered Ascension Episcopal product, Hayden Pearson. He went 2 innings. He didn't allow a hit. He didn't allow any runs. He had just 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. And then Garrett Carter would come out of the bullpen to close things out in the 9th inning, going that final inning, and then getting a punch out, allowing a walk, but getting his save, his second save there of this young season. So a phenomenal performance by this pitching staff, but we got to give huge kudos to Sawyer Pruitt, the way that he was able to handle himself in this game. And not to mention, coming into this matchup, Kansas State was a team that had scored 73 runs on the year in the 7 games that they had played. So on average, they've scored 10 runs, and you hold them to 0. Incredible feat. And not to mention, that was also a top 50 runs scored in the country. I think it was like 25 in the country, and you hold them at 0. Really, really amazing showing. Head coach Matt Deggs gave Pruitt a lot of praise in post game on the radio, talking about just the way that he was able to handle business on the bump.
Yeah, I did. As I told Sandy the very first bullpen in August, I said, that's a number 1 right there. And he'll get there. He'll get there. It's just you got to work your way up. And I think we got him in a good spot right now. And we'll see what the future holds. But he's just a lot to handle, Brett. He's just hard to handle. And everything's so advanced, and especially for his age and his size. The ability to throw strikes with 3 or 4 pitches, the ability to field your position, the ability to hold runners, just all of it's just very advanced.
What a quality kid, man. I can't say enough about it. 6'7", 240 pounds, hasn't given up an earned run, throwing strikeouts like crazy. Those are the type of things that you can hang your hat on, because scoring runs and hitting home runs and all of those things like that, those are things that sell tickets. Throwing strikeouts and keeping teams from scoring runs those are what is going to win you championships. No doubt about it. Shout out to Sawyer Pruitt, man. Obviously, Kansas State on the pitching side for them, Tanner Duke, he really deserved better on his end. He went 6 in the 3rd inning, 3 hits allowed, the 1 run, and 5 punch-outs himself. This game really was a coin flip, and ultimately you made one big swing at the fences and were able to pull it away. So we've truly been able to see that UL can win in multiple ways. We've seen them come from behind. We've seen them, build a lead and pull ahead, like what we saw against Maryland in Game 2. And that is going to continue to help them as the season progresses, once they get into conference play, and then further down the line when you're talking about in the postseason. It puts you in a great predicament or a great situation to be in. The other thing is, Sawyer Pruitt is making an early case for himself in his career to be a great option for you as a weekend starter. Obviously, like you heard Coach Deggs say, he's going to have to wait his turn. He's going to have to work his way into the ranks. But you got options now. And he has tipped his head to this freshman class too many times, and they continue to show it time after time. So kudos to the young man, and congratulations to the Ragin Cajuns. They'll now look to try to do it again and run it back on Wednesday night when they will welcome Kansas State back to the Tigue, 6 o'clock first pitch, and we will see if they can get it done. I'll be in the house. I was actually over at Lamson, which we're going to talk about that after I take a break. I was over at Lamson watching the Louisiana softball team playing its final game until March the 20th, and they gave us something to watch. So we're going to talk about that right after this break here on Ragin Rundown. Louisiana softball came into Tuesday night after going 4-2 last week. All of their games being on the road, playing in the Purple and Gold Challenge at LSU, and then the AC Louisiana Clash there at McNeese. The losses that they suffered were in extra innings to LSU, losing 2-1, where Sage Hoover played out of her mind, and then to Houston, where they were run ruled 10-0. And so coming into the game, 2 things were on the table for them. One, this was going to be the final chance for UL fans to see the softball team play until March the 20th, because from now they're going to hit the road. They're going to play in the Texas A&M tournament, and then they're going to go to Oklahoma and play in a tournament there, and then they're going to start conference play at Southern Miss, and then they will finally come back home for March the 20th. So this was the last time that you're going to see these young ladies for some time. And then the second thing is that they wanted to wash the taste out of their mouth from that run rule loss to Houston. And did they do it emphatically? Louisiana would pick up a 10-2 run rule victory in 6 innings, and they improved to 11-6 on the season. The offense showed their ability to have powerful hits, as he had 3 home runs from Lillian Soto, Brooke Otto, and then Mia Norwood would be the deciding factor for the run rule there at the end with a 3-run shot. And if this softball team, if Louisiana can continue to play at this level and be as complete as they were from a pitching standpoint, from an offensive standpoint, like, they are going to be dangerous. And we've talked about it multiple times in different episodes. Hitting is not going to be the problem. You had 22 home runs, and I think you're either about to match it if you haven't already matched it. I haven't looked at the updated numbers, but you're about to match that number right now, and you're 17 games into the season. So hitting and playing on offense is not going to be the problem. Where you're going to need to get better play or more consistent play is going to come out of the circle. Obviously, this was a midweek game, and, midweek games have great importance, but they don't always make or break your season. So Sage Hoover came out and got the start. She went 3 innings, and, she was able to give you some scoreless innings there. And then Bailey Mackles, the true freshman, got an opportunity to come into the game. And it got rough for her there for a moment in the 4th inning. Northern Iowa was able to score 2 runs after UL had gone up 6-0 and were eyeballing the run rule from there. She gives up 2 runs, and then Coach Habits, Allison Habits, goes to the circle and has a moment with her. Kevin Foote asked her about it in post-game, and, she was joking about how she asked her, where's your favorite place to vacation? And she told her and said, just imagine that you're there, relax, and go out and throw strikes and throw the ball to your pitcher. She was able to kind of calm herself down and was able to work out of a jam and eventually shut the door and not allow Northern Iowa to score any more runs in the remainder of the game. So that was really the only pressure moment that you really have. But like we talked about, like, offensively, man, this was impressive. So the Cajuns scored their first run in the first after a error happened. Deja Williams was able to score. It wasn't flashy or anything like that, just good base running to give an opportunity to score a run. Mia Lascano would double, and then Haley Hart continues to be money. She delivers a big swing. She hits a 2-run single. The Cajuns score 3 runs. They go up 4-0. They capitalize on mistakes, and then they consistently are able to have a big moment where they're able to spark runs there. Then the power shows. Brooke Otto, like I mentioned, she hits a 2-run homer. That would be her 4th of the season. UL grows their lead 6-0. We talked about the 4th inning there where Bailey Mackles came into the game and had her moment, but was able to wiggle out of that jam. And then you get there to the 6th, and the knockout punch comes along. Lillian Soto comes out. After pinch hitting, she hits her first home run of the season. Mia Lascano gets another double, and then Gabby Stutz would get on base. And then Mia Norwood comes in playing from left field. She also had a spectacular catch there from left field. Earlier in the game, she hits a 3-run homer. She finishes with 3 RBI. Cajuns get a run rule victory. So the offensive depth that we've seen from this team continues to be on full display. They can get it done. Put a player in there, 1 through 9, 10 through 15. These ladies can hit. They can hit with power. They can find base hits. And then they have some speed to run on the base path to be able to create chaos and make it hard for opposing defenses to really get settled in and comfortable. They capitalize off of mistakes and they score runs. That is something that they are not going to have a problem with, none whatsoever. Like I mentioned, Mia Norwood, 3 RBI, a home run. Brooke Otto, 2 RBI and a home run. Haley Hart had 2 RBI from her single brought in. Lillian Soto gets a home run off the bench. Mia Lascano scored 2 runs and had 2 doubles. The lineup is deep. But like I said, as long as the pitchers in the circle can continue to have strong outings and can be consistent, your Sage Hoover, your Lexi Delbray, your Julianne Tipton, your Bethany Noble, and your Bailey Mackles, if this bullpen can collectively come together and can continue to have great performances like what we saw in the LSU game, like what we saw tonight against Northern Iowa, what we've seen in spurts throughout this season, if they are able to do that, again, like I said about baseball, the sky is the limit. Because, yes, these home runs are exciting and they look great, and we want to continue seeing that. But that's what's going to fill up Lamson Park and sell tickets and merchandise. Championships will be won through your defense and out of your bullpen. We'll see how the ladies can continue throughout the season, as now they will hit the road and will play in Texas A&M's tournament coming up this weekend. They have a doubleheader on Friday where they will play St. Mary's first, and then they have the Aggies later that night. I think it's a first pitch of 2 p.m., and then the Aggies is at 7. So they're going to have to be put to the test, and they're going to have to do it on the road for an extended period of time, and we'll be keeping an eye on it right here on Ragin Rundown. Hey, if you've made it to this point in the video, thank you so much. But please do me a favor. 90% of you guys that are watching these videos are not subscribed to the channel. So do me a favor, hit the bell down below and subscribe to the channel. Like this video, leave a comment down below because I love interacting with you guys, and share it with someone else. If you're listening, follow the podcast feed, rate us, and leave us a review, because that's going to help us get in front of more Ragin Cajun fans just like yourself. I'm your guy, Jamarcus Fitzpatrick. We'll see you guys next time.